What I'm going to go through here is how to distort something in Illustrator. And I've set up 4 artboards, A4 landscape. And I'm going to do simple distorts. We're going to do a mesh distort first, a distort with top object, a warp, and using the various tools. I mean, there are other ways of distorting, but these are sort of the simplest. And I'm just going to zoom in. Let's zoom out a little bit. So at the moment, this is just text, and I just click on it, and I'll go up to the object menu, and we'll go down about 3/4, 4/5 of the way down, envelope distort. And this is where most of the distortion options are. And we're going to do with mesh, then we'll do with warp and top object. So I'll do with mesh first. And mesh gives you a grid. As you can see, we have a horizontal and vertical grid, and I can change this. We make sure you've got preview ticked. And if you notice, we have anchor points. And if you have anchor points, they can be moved, which is the job of the white arrow tool. So I'll do OK. And let's select the white arrow tool, A. Now, at the moment, they're all blue. So if I just click and drag, they're all going to move. So nothing's going to happen. So if I click on one, or click off, click on, that's better, just to make sure. And then if I drag it, you can see, which is really quite nice, I get like a very organic change. And if I select, if I click and drag, and then drag down, I can get something like that, which works out quite nicely. So let's go to the next one. And distort with top objects. So let's go back to the black arrow tool, select the 2 shapes. So remember the top object. So go to the object menu, down to envelope distort, make with top object, bang. And I'll do the same again. And here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a hexagram or any shape you want. Envelope distort, make with top object, and bang, which works out quite nice. And then we have a warp, so distort warp, so object, envelope distort, and warp. This is the simplest, but it's quite useful. And if I click on the styles, you can see this is very good for signage. So I can do all sorts of things. If I do a flag, for example, and I've got all sorts of options, so I can do a bend. Again, make sure your preview is ticked, it's on, and I can do the amount as well. And you can see we get a difference there, which works out quite nice. And let's go to the next page. And I'll click on this, and we have some tools. And here we have the distort tools. The distort tools live under the width tool, and I've just dragged them off. And we've got things like warp, twist or twirl, pucker, bloat, scallop, crystallize, and wrinkle. So if I click on the warp tool, now this is the first time now it won't work on text. So what I have to do, let's click on the black arrow tool, click on that. I have to convert this. And in fact, let me do a copy. It's always good to do a copy first, just in case you want to change things, because you can't undo. So go to type, create outlines. So now it's a shape. So I'll click on the warp tool. And if you notice now, I've got a circular area. This is sort of the brush area for changing. And I can click and drag. So this is a manual organic movement, which is really handy. And if I want to change that, I can double click on the tool. And there we go. I've got width and height, angle, which doesn't make any difference if it's a perfect circle, intensity. And if you have a graphics tablet like I do, I could use the pressure there. And I can change the amount of detail, the simplification, and I want to show the brush size. Now, this is why I made a copy. So let's go back. Let's duplicate that, and I'll do it a few times. Remember, this is still text. There you go. Select them all. Type, create outlines. Thank you very much. Click on the first one, and we'll go to the next one, which is the twirl tool. Now, this is quite nice. You just click and hold. Click and hold. The longer you hold, the more you twirl. If I just do a little click, you can see. Now, if you notice, it's going in an anti-clockwise direction. So if I hold down Alt or Option, or maybe Command, no, it won't go. I thought maybe Alt or Option would go in the opposite direction, but it doesn't. So we're stuck with going anti-clockwise. But it works really, really well. Again, I can double click and I can change the brush dimensions, the twirl rate. So if it's going too quick, I can, let's say, reduce that. Actually, let's go negative. And let's go negative by a small amount. Do OK. And let's undo this. And see, now we're going clockwise. But now I can click and hold without immediately going into a massive twirl. And it works out quite nice. And the next one, we have pucker. I'm holding the Command or Control key down, selecting the next object, and click, click. I'm clicking on an anchor point. And the bloat is the reverse. It bloats out, again related to anchor points, which gives sort of like a nice fisheye lens type sort of thing. Works really well. And again, if I double click on it, we can change all the settings, the detail, etc., etc. Now it used to be, in fact, actually, my width and height is not circular anymore. So let's change that to say 50 and 50. There you go. Now it used to be, let's see if it still works. No, it used to be I could use the square bracket keys to change the brush size, but it doesn't do that anymore, unfortunately. Right, next one. And we have very straightforward scallop tool. And let's zoom in a bit for this. And click, click. So we get, as you can see, a scalloped effect. Again, we can double click and change the amounts. The next one is the crystallize. You can see the icons will tell you what they do. Hold Command or Control, click, and then we're on the same tool. I don't have to switch. Holding Command or Control temporarily, whilst I hold it, goes back to the black arrow tool. So I don't have to switch between tools manually. So I can see we get like an explosion. Again, click on an anchor point. And it works really, really well. And I need another one for the wrinkle tool. And so again, make a copy. Type, create outlines, and wrinkle. And as you can see, we get a nice sort of variation. Again, the longer you hold, and it works quite well. And using these tools, we can get all sorts of varieties of distortions and changes. And of course, you can use one after the other. You're not stuck with using just one. Do not forget, I won't do this in this video, but do not forget, you also have the rubber, the scissor, and the knife tool, which, although they're not a distort, you can cut up your shape and then move them around. So it helps with the distortion. But that's how you can do distorting in Illustrator. Whether it's text or ordinary meshes that you create, shapes, paths, whatever, it doesn't matter. It all works the same.